You a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. Right now, we are recapping episode 5 of Marvel's Secret Invasion. From a hospital with the worst security imaginable to a random graveyard in the middle of Finland. Mine is Mike Gibson. With me as always, Steve Haller. What's up, Steve? Oh, and everywhere in between. I forgot to say that part. What's up, Steve?
There wasn't too many things in between, and few of them made sense. And this whole show is very confusing to me.
Yeah, if anyone's seen, I posted a short video of myself, my initial reaction to episode 5, Secret Invasion. I did not like it. I'm over this show. I think this show, I think I said in episode 1, our episode 1 review, where I was like, I don't think it's boring. I think it's like paced well. It's taking its time. It's trying to like build to something. And I said, maybe by the time I'm done watching this show, I'll look back and say, oh yeah, no, it was boring and it was slow and it was badly paced. And yes, I think this show's slow and boring. And
yeah, I think both of us were kind of holding out hope that there was going to be a turn or a twist or something, or there was, but in the wrong direction of.
Well, like, I just don't understand how this show is. There's so much I don't understand about this show. It's hard for me to put it into one sentence. What I said in my video that on our Instagram page, and I'll say it again right now. I don't understand, spoilers, by the way. In the end of this episode, this is the second to last episode of the series. At the end of this episode, they introduced the idea that Gravik, the main villain, is apparently the whole time, maybe, has been after this thing called the Harvest, which is a vial of DNA that was collected from rocks and debris, blood or whatever was collected from the Battle of Earth in Avengers Endgame. So he's talking about like Captain America's DNA and Thor's DNA and, name an Avenger, all of them. Black Panther, like they all bled during that battle and their blood was on those rocks. And this Harvest has samples of all their DNA or a lot of their. That's what he's been after the whole time. I think that's a way cooler thing to be after than whatever vague revenge they have. Like, I get they're mad that they don't have a home planet, so we're starting to rebel and revolt. That's fine. That's a good idea. But this plot device that is tied directly to one of the most popular movies in the whole MCU, this should have been the plot the whole time. This should have been like, maybe he gets a couple along the way, and like that's how he starts slowly building himself as a Super Skrull. You know what I mean? Like he gets the Thor one, so he's got the strength or whatever. And then in episode 3, he gets Groot's or whatever, so he can do the tree arm thing.
Build
something. Like build it up instead of just like dropping a bomb. Like, oh, this thing is out there, and it's gonna be a thing for one episode of a series. And then we're never going to talk about it again. Like this could have been a driving plot point of the entire series. It seems like a pivot. It seems like if you're doing like the war rebel thing, then stick with that and stick with it on the way out. And now we get through most of episode 5, and all of a sudden the idea is this other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems, Steve, am I wrong?
No, you're not. And it seems mildly disjointed that there's, I don't know, this ulterior motive that just happens to pop up in the penultimate episode with no real through lines to the rest of any. Like if you just set that up in the beginning, or even like the second, intro episode, set that up in the second episode that this is why, or what Gravik's doing, or what he's looking for, or any of that. It changes the pacing. It changes what's going on. It makes it more apparent as to why he's got this vendetta against Sam Jackson, and like I don't know, the whole thing's weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
it just seems like, I don't know, like they didn't know what to do or something, or they didn't think they could sustain one of the ideas for long enough, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't even know what to feel. I can't. I'm starting that sentence over and over again, and I don't know how to finish
Right.
it. Like I just don't.
I feel shit.
Yeah. I mean, negatively
Right.
is the answer.
Yeah.
Is the short answer. How? Like I said this. I teased this in the intro, but the hospital that is taking the president of the United States in zero. There's 2 doctors and Nick Fury pushing him on a gurney. The president of the United States. No security.
That's not how.
No Secret
That's not how it
Service
works.
at all. 0% chance that the president. Yeah, sure. I know a lot of his security were killed in the battle,
Right.
and Nick Fury was the only one that drove away with him. But 0% chance that they would not have people waiting at that hospital
Mhm.
or following Nick Fury. Like insane. That doesn't make sense. Like hire a couple more people and throw them. It doesn't matter. It's the president of the United States, and then later. Rhodey walks in with his 2 Secret Service people and just yells at a nurse, goes, "Where's the president?" And she just points. And then he makes a line. It's like the show's like, okay, we have to acknowledge this. And he says a line about terrible security in this hospital. Lock down this hallway. Like, is Rhodey the first person that has come to see the president in the hospital and no one's thought to lock it down? Like, what?
No,
like
and
that. I
what
get
it
that
was
this
was
is like
they
a
shot the
minor
first
thing.
scenes and then didn't want to reshoot, so they're like, all right, Cheat'll say this.
Like it's kind of it's a minor thing, but it bothered me so much. There's like this is just it ruins the this is a word that I love that I seldom get to use. It ruins the verisimilitude of the show. Do you know what that word means?
Yes. I feel like
Verisimilitude means the reality or the realness of the thing that you're watching. Like the world feels like it works
okay.
and it
I got
you know it, whatever its own, you know, it could be Star Wars or it could be taking place in our reality, but like if you feel like it's a living actual universe functional, and that like this scene that's supposed to take place on Earth with a president of the United States, just it took me out of the whole thing. I was like, this is the least in a in a show about shape-shifting green aliens. This is the hardest to believe, and it's an easy fix. It's an easy work, and it doesn't. So it's kind of emblematic of a lot of the series. I think seemed like it could have been. It just seems like they didn't put the work in to make a good show. I don't know, and from a lot of different levels.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but here we are with such a weird show.
I gotta say, my eyes light up a little bit more every time Olivia shows up, though.
Oh, that was great.
She's very enjoyable.
Yeah, her whole thing was great.
Yeah, it's good. At first I was like, does it make sense? Like she seems like she should be in an office. Like why is she the one coming to torture chambers and cutting people's finger off and blowing up people's houses? Like, but then I was like, well, Nick Fury does that.
Yeah.
You know, he's also a high-ranking secret government operative, so like, yeah, why can't she be doing it? And then I think it's because like she isn't dressed like a pirate vigilante, you know, or whatever. But that makes it funnier for her character. That's why I like her character so much, is that she is so nice and kind behind the eyes, but she's just, you know, being very threatening at the same time. Like she's great. I am sick of shows that are like, this show is about this superhero that you love, but you're not going to see him in their outfit until the very last episode. Like, I don't like that. Like, you're giving me a Daredevil show, show me Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that, I mean, that's a show that I love, and it did that trope well. But especially with like Marvel stuff where we've seen this character look like this already.
Right.
Like, don't just make us wait so long for him to put an eye patch and a cool coat on. Like,
But with Daredevil, like that was also one of the first where they buried the lead on it.
You're right.
And after they did it and did it successfully, I got a hunch others were like, oh yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah. And like even in Titans, I think. And I still haven't finished watching the last season of Titans. I don't know if I will, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But I remember there was people talking online about when before that came out, like, ooh, are we gonna see Starfire finally like fly or like use her whatever that she hasn't used, and it's like something like this is the fourth season of a show about this character. Like, why aren't they all at their full power set? Like, I know you got budget problems or whatever, but like it's insane to make a superhero show and like hold it back, especially like I said, especially for Nick Fury, a character we've seen a million times. And it doesn't make him more interesting that he's not wearing the eye patch or not wearing the coat. It makes him feel less like Nick Fury, to be honest with you. So I don't know. Seems a weird, like, why not put him in that coat the whole time? At least have us feel like we're watching Nick Fury.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm just kind of ranting, and
No.
I don't love to spend time on talking about stuff that I don't love. So I guess I'm just trying to think of things to say, and they're all negative. So I feel like we should wrap up.
Yeah, we'll
Before I
we'll
bum
come back.
myself out completely.
Yeah, we'll come back with the episode 6 just for shits and giggles, and
Just to be a completist about it, we should definitely do.
you know,
6, yeah.
maybe they just completely land it. But
Hey,
I'm not thinking
yeah.
it's happening.
I mean, I would love if 6 is just some incredible piece of action, Marvel-y fun, and it took 5 episodes to build up to where they could get to there, and so 6 just like cruises,
Yep.
But I can't imagine it's gonna do that, but I hope it does. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Like if like 6 is just like John Wick but with Nick Fury, that would be dope. But I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so. In episode 4, when they're on the highway saving the president, and like Gravik uses his Groot arm to kill one person, why doesn't he just immediately murder everybody else there? Like you have that power now.
Yeah.
Use it. Why aren't you using that all the time?
Plot armor.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
Just seems great. There was a scene in the beginning of this episode where Gravik was changing his plan and saying that he wants the president to declare war on them, or it's some convoluted thing. It was not what he wanted in the first 4 episodes of the show, and the other Skrulls are rightfully like, what? Why are you? There's one guy that was like, why are you doing this? And Gravik's like, we're doing this, and blah, 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 blah. And the guy goes, explain it to me. And I was like, oh, I'm that guy. I'm that guy who's mad at the show for switching things and not being clear. And, I'm yelling, explain it to me at the show. Anyway, that's all I got.
Well, that's what we got. So
that's what we got.
Oh, hold on. We do have a comment.
Oh, okay. Let's address the comment.
So Brian Rowlands in the chat, even if it does end well, it shouldn't take this long for something to happen in a 6-episode show. Dead
Brian,
nuts on.
you're right on the money.
100% on.
Right on the money, dude. Yes. And it's not like nothing happened. I watched 5 episodes, but
no, it's what we were talking about in the main episode, where the highs versus the lows.
Yeah.
Like, there were some good points of Secret Invasion. There was also a lot of like, okay, now what?
Yeah, but I also think those highs weren't high enough for me to like really get blown away, like feel anything really for the show. It's not like I'm like, oh, it's kind of slowing down towards the end, but hey, we had that great whatever scene in episode 2. It was like, I don't remember what happened in episode 2.
Yep.
I know something did, but it just seemed like, I feel like there's not a strong enough through line to make it feel like propulsive, like, because I don't remember what happened in episode 2. If I did, then I'd be like waiting for that to pay off. If there was some like, oh, this is good. Oh, I should be piecing things, like you and I should be piecing things together about what's going to happen in 6. Instead, we're like, I don't care. This whole conversation should be like, oh, he did that thing in 5 because of the thing we saw him do in 2, which means that this is going, like, that should be the kind of theorizing that we're doing.
Yeah. Instead, we're just like, okay, cool. It's a show. They made a show.
Yeah, they made a show.
Well, and there's also
a show, and
there's not the setup and the payoff of all of what went down with the comics. Like, I think we touched on it last week, where the scale and scope of what happened in the comic event is dramatically different, and they kind of just co-opted a name and wanted to tell a different story but with the same name, and that's just
right.
They've done it successfully in multiple movies, but it just didn't hit in this one, especially if you knew what Secret Invasion was.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Marvel. This one's a miss for me. This is a miss, I think.
I
And it's a
won't
bummer
disagree.
because you got some good actors in your thing, but you didn't give them good stuff to do. You know, this show cost $200 million to make.
Yay.
It cost as much as Aquaman 2
Well, as much as Aquaman 2 was supposed
before
to
the reshoots. Before the reshoot.
they're supposed to cost, yeah.
But still, that's an insane amount of money for a show that is just doing nothing, I feel like.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway, that's it. That's it.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, yeah, also, back to the chat. Should be trying to guess what heroes are Skrulls instead of random characters no one cares about. Like right now,
Yes.
you're 100% right.
How is-
There's nobody
Yes.
left. Like,
Yeah. How is that not a huge, like, I mean, it would have had been to a movie because you would have had to get, like, Brie Larson or whatever to come back and convince us that maybe she's a Skrull somehow. Like, that would be so much better than this, than, like,
right, but if you're already, I mean, think about it. You're already paying Samuel L. Jackson bank and Emilia Clarke bank. What's throwing
Yeah.
a 10-minute cameo for Brie Larson in or whatever? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know. Because
know.
it cuts down other, like Don Cheadle isn't cheap.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
3 A-listers
And he's the
in
one.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be a whole, like, I feel like maybe one episode executed well the I don't know who to trust. Anybody could be a Skrull, but then they just told us so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine that there's going to be like a reveal that somebody is a Skrull at the end. Like, the only one left to be a Skrull is Olivia Colman, and if she is a Skrull, then nothing she's done has made any sense.
Yeah.
Any sense. So, like, this could have been a great, like, The Thing or something where you don't know who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
You can't trust nobody because anybody could be it. But it's not.
That would be the
It's
movie, or that would be the show we needed to see.
That would be the better show. That'd be the better show for
But
sure.
We didn't.
No.
So, unfortunately, we will not see the show that we want to see. We will see what is here, and we'll be back next week to tell you our thoughts on episode 6 of Secret Invasion. In the meantime, if you'd like to subscribe to us on YouTube, leave a comment, let us know, how much you guys are enjoying this content, not enjoying it. Give us some feedback. Feedback's always appreciated.
Let us know.
Also appreciated our reviews on something like Apple Podcasts, where you can help trick the algorithm into showing people where we're at. So yeah, feel free to check out the Multiverse Report on any place you can, be it social or the website or the email, all of the same name. The email is at gmail.com. The rest are where you'd expect to find them. And yeah.
And I got to say, we have been, pat myself on the back a little bit, we have been very active on social media in the last couple of weeks.
He says we.
Posting. Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm not
him.
trying to take all the credit. We, the show, under me, the person.
The banner
have been
versus
very,
the producer.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very active on social media. Most days. So, some good content over there. Check it out. Clips from this show, other photos, and random reviews of Secret Invasion from me midweek if I'm mad enough and I need to tell somebody. So check that out. Follow us, give us a like, subscribe to the show on YouTube or your podcatcher of choice. And until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the multiverse.